Hey, what's up, everyone? I want to welcome you to another episode of Here's What I Think with your host, Charles Tabansi, where we discuss everything from current events, economics, politics, and how it all relates to business and life. Let's get into this topic here. Now, today we have a major development in the Sean Diddy case that's currently ongoing. And I want to read quickly from an article that I just unearthed here from CBSnews.com, and it has the following headline. It says, Sean Diddy Combs seeking release of names of his accusers. It continues on. It says, lawyers for Sean Diddy Combs asked a New York judge Tuesday to force prosecutors to disclose names of his accusers in his trafficking case. The lawyers wrote in a letter to a Manhattan federal court judge that the hip-hop music maker needs to know the identities of his alleged victims so he can prepare adequately for trial. Last week, a May 5th trial date was set for Combs. He has pleaded not guilty. A spokesperson for prosecutors declined to comment. Combs, who's 54, remains incarcerated without bail after his September 16th federal trafficking arrest. His lawyers have asked a federal appeals court to let him be free, to be freed to home detention so he can more easily meet the lawyers and prepare for trial. So far, judges have concluded he is a danger to the community and cannot be freed. The request to identify accusers comes a day after 6 new lawsuits were filed against Combs anonymously to protect the identities of the alleged victims. 2 of the accusers were identified as Jane Does, while 4 men were listed in the suit as John Does. The suit claims he used his fame and promise of boosting their own prospects in the music industry to persuade victims to attend lavish parties or drug-fueled hangouts where he then assaulted them. The plaintiffs in Monday's lawsuits are part of what their lawyers say in a group of more than 100 accusers who were in the process of taking legal action against Combs. In their letter Tuesday to the judge, attorneys for Combs said that the case against their client is unique, in part because of the number of accusers. They attributed the quantity of his celebrity status, wealth, and publicity of his previously settled lawsuit. And then the article then goes on to say a few other things there. What are my thoughts on this? Well, I think if we're looking at this from the defense side, I think that makes sense. Why? Well, if you're being accused by someone for things as egregious as these things, then it would make sense to know who the people are. Right? I think it would make sense. Now, some people are against this in terms of releasing the identities of these individuals because they're like, well, you don't want them to get shamed. You don't want them to be put into danger and all of that stuff. Well, if you look at the nature of this case, it seems like even the prosecution has no interest in protecting the image of the defendant because all type of information has been released. And as a matter of fact, I think 90% of the people when polled about this particular case, believe that Sean Diddy Combs is going to lose. I believe we put up a poll on one of our other channels, Dreamers Pro channel. We put up a poll and asked the audience, do we think Diddy's going to win or lose the case? And out of maybe 5,000 voters, 6,000 voters, 90% of them believe that he's going to lose the case. 90% of them. And no substantial evidence has been presented as of yet. They're just going off of public sentiment. They believe that based off of the things that they've heard, most of them have not been substantiated at all, but they've come to the conclusion that Diddy is guilty and he's going to lose the case. But in the side of the defense, I think it is reasonable.